Opposition leader Peter Dutton is calling on the government to release more details about how its proposed Indigenous Voice to Parliament will work. With the Prime Minister promising a referendum before his term is up, SBS asked politicians, activists and Indigenous leaders about how they envisage a voice in practice. And a warning to our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander viewers that this story contains images of someone who has died.
This is the document that set the rules for how Australia is governed. But in the Constitution's pages, there's not one mention of the first Australians. The Prime Minister wants to change that by asking Australians this question.
Do you support an alteration to the Constitution that establishes an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice?
The government wants to do that by adding just 3 sentences to the Constitution, creating a body known as the Voice to advise the Parliament and the government about matters that affect Indigenous Australians. It would then be up to the Parliament to legislate for how the Voice would work. The opposition says that last part is too vague.
We still can't answer the question, who will serve on the Voice, what will it do, how will people be chosen?
Respected Indigenous academic Marcia Langton disagrees. She co-authored a 272-page report detailing just that.
It's a bit of a furphy, really. We proposed that the National Voice give advice to government when requested and also when the members of the Voice think it important to do so, because influencing policy at the stage when a bill is tabled in Parliament is too late.
In that sense, advocates say a voice wouldn't be unlike other advisory bodies, with a crucial difference: it can't be shut down.
We have a regular passage of ministers who become the Minister for Indigenous Affairs and have epiphanies of how they can save us. Enough is enough. I think people know what the issues are, and they should have the opportunity to have a say about that.
The Uluru Statement from the Heart called for voice, treaty and truth. It had the broadest backing of any effort for constitutional recognition so far.
Senator Thorpe.
But not everyone agrees with its order. Senator Lydia Thorpe believes treaty or formal agreements between the government and Indigenous Australians acknowledging their traditional ownership must come first.
We are the only Commonwealth country in the world that doesn't have a treaty with its first people. Treaty is the only way that will truly mature the nation, and a voice to Parliament, the Makarrata Commission, they all fall under a treaty.
Something the Prime Minister has ruled out for now.
If people think that you can achieve a treaty in this term of Parliament, then I'd say that is ambitious.
But the Greens are arguing both can happen concurrently.
There is absolutely no reason that we can't commence process towards truth-telling and treaty now.
Constitutional reform is notoriously difficult. It's been 121 years since this document was written, and of the 44 attempts to change it, only 8 have been successful. But the most successful was in 1967, when more than 90% of voters agreed Indigenous Australians should be counted in our population. That's the momentum activists want to recreate when voters return to the polls.
This is the unfinished business of our nation. The response to this question is going to reflect so much who we are as a nation and how Australians recognise the rightful place of First Nations people.
A question Australians will be called to answer as soon as next year. Claudia Farhart, SBS World News.